3,
Okay.
2, 1.
All right, guys. Episode number 14, Kings of Monaco, coming at you. We have 5 cameras today. We're going to show you. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But let me go over the topics real quick. LeBeau has the topics. There they are, right there. Hit the mic a little bit more. Yeah, great. It sounds like your knee. All right. The Olympics. We're going to talk about the Olympics tonight. Have some fun. There's a lot going on with that, but we're gonna try to keep it lighthearted and talk about that a little bit. How outreach happens today. We got one of our guests that we're gonna ask for a little bit of insight on there. The Mandela effect. LeBeau is going to lead us into that one. And nicknames. Do you feel more like 20 or do you feel like 70, if I understand it right? And of course, as you can see in the screen today, the original Flo is with us today.
What's up, Flo?
What's up, guys? What's up?
What's up, man?
Happy to be here, man. This is awesome.
Dude, like your eyes alone are making us look better. It's amazing, bro. Yeah. Hey, we ran into each other not too long ago at the best store ever, right?
Yes.
And that is Micro Center. Yes. Buying computers and nerding out, teching out because we like that kind of stuff. But man, it was so good to see you. I'm glad that you got my attention and we hooked up, man, because this is good. This is so good.
It was super cool to see you, man. It was awesome. Ran into you, seeing you. So, oh man, there's my boy right there, man.
Yeah, it's been forever, brother. It's been forever. How's everybody else doing?
Good, doing great,
man. We're doing good. It feels like forever, you know. Since we did our last podcast, sometimes I feel like, man, I wish we could do these daily, you know. But then I'll probably get tired of you guys like I did on tour. But no, no, it's been forever. Carlos wasn't here last time. He since Carlos was here last time, he grew a little facial hair.
I hit puberty.
Finally, man.
I wasn't here because I did get sick of you guys, so I decided to take a break. We're on a break.
And of course, you know, we got a 5th member today, Flo, man. It's so good having you. But Carlos, man, I don't think we've ever seen you with facial hair before. And I think it's because it takes you like a year to grow that. So what's up with that, man?
Dude, it does take me forever. So I'm not lying, literally has taken me like 3 months to grow.
Come on.
Like, it's
That's
funny
dedication.
I think Joe, you'll see him missing like in the middle of the podcast because he has to go and shave during the podcast.
You have a little shaving cream on your face still. No, dude, seriously, like it's literally.
LeBeau uses Manscaped on his to shave his. Just kidding. No, never mind. Go ahead.
No, it's good, man. I don't even try to diet or anything. I keep it just trim and we're good for now.
Dies for haters.
I don't think I've ever seen Carlos able to connect this part. The handlebars.
Yes, sir.
It's still not connected that well.
Is that pain again?
I've asked probably like 100 people, and a lot of them are probably watching this podcast because I'm kind of self-conscious about it still. I don't know if it looks good or if it looks stupid. What I don't want to be is I don't want to be the guy who wants a beard but can't grow one. So I don't want to be that guy. And everybody that I know, I've been asking them, what do you think? Tell me the truth. I'm asking you because I know you'll tell me the truth. So far, people are saying, it looks all right. Keep it. Let it grow out. I'm like, dude, it's been growing out for 3 months. I think this is it.
You know, I seen this video because, you know, these stupid videos pop up on TikTok. It was talking about like what's the sexiest and non-sexiest facial hair look. And so Aaron was like, his look was on there of like the sexiest looks for facial hair. You know, I got a little growth going on here, you know. And Joe, of course, you know, Joe just keeping it clean. And of course, Bo was definitely on there. And Carlos, you were on the verge of like not being sexy because they don't like the patchy look, but you're just enough to be sexy.
Carla, let me tell you something that my son told me a long time ago. This is gonna make you feel good.
Uh-oh.
Your beard, the whole thing you got going on, is young on the top and wise on the bottom.
Oh,
let's
dang.
go. Come on, right there.
That's right.
Yes, you got a little bit of both going. Wisdom and
You actually
youth.
kind of look a little more Asian that way too. So that's kind of like a wise words from an Asian type of thing going on, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's
You're a
just
bit more
his.
squinty
when
eyed.
he's-
Did he get that at a fortune cookie?
No.
They have a filter on Snapchat that actually has an old Asian guy that has a gray beard and kind of grows it in.
I have been confused for Asian people my whole life, so that's actually a compliment. I appreciate that.
Me and
I
you both.
do like
Then
it, but
they started talking to you and they're like, no, he's not.
yeah. People don't know what I am. I'm either Pacific Islander, Asian. They never guess Mexican though, for some reason. It's
Are
weird.
you serious?
Yeah, it's odd. Unless you're the guy across the street who came over and asked me if I can mow his lawn because he didn't believe that my house was actually my house.
You know, I thought about that story, Carlos, and I'm like, was it because Carlos's lawn was like really just so nice that the guy was like throwing compliments, and Carlos was like, "You want to fight? Come on, man!"
I do like to throw down. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. But yeah, I don't get confused a lot for being Mexican, oddly enough. Filipino is another one that I get.
Yeah, I can
Are
see
you
that.
Filipino? Yeah. Anyway, so if you're watching this, I'm going to break the fourth wall here. Be Deadpool for a second. If you're watching this, vote on my beard. Is it a keeper? Or is it just weird? My business partner was like, let's do a poll on LinkedIn. He's like, let's have people vote.
Hey, you
if
got one
weird
thumbs
is
up
weird.
there.
Thumbs down.
I'm doing the either or.
I like it.
Put your comment.
So, Aaron, do you have any white in yours, or is yours still one color? I know we're all getting up there in age. I know you're younger than us, but how's
If you
that
start
situation
like
going?
digging deep, you'll see some white hairs in there. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you got a little time still. All right.
Hey, and speaking of not knowing like your full background, I mean, because Flo, when people look at you, what do they think you are? Do they
think
say
I'm white all the way?
you're just
Oh,
a
yeah.
white boy?
I'm just a white.
That's
boy.
it's those eyes, man.
Yep.
You got those eyes that
It's
your wife is probably
it's
just
Spaniard
staring
though.
at-
It's Spain.
Yeah.
My grandparents came from Spain, so and
That would
my
make
mom's
you
side is Spanish,
Hispanic.
too. What's that?
That would make you Hispanic.
Yes.
Because you speak Spanish. Well,
according to the Census
Hey,
Bureau.
check it out, Carlos. Right there. Let's go.
Product placement.
Whoa, let's go.
mine has a little magic juice in it, though. Does yours?
Oh no, I don't refill my cans typically, but
This is just
but
for
you
the
know,
product placement.
I feel like that's somebody who has a problem.
I know we
But
pulled
anyways.
Flo on here.
That brings us to the Olympics, fellas.
Right, yeah, LeBeau's like, can we
Flo
get
on
on with
here
the
for
show
an
right now?
intervention?
No, I just want to make sure that we're good.
Yeah, we gotta stay on track a little bit here. We're gonna talk about what?
Olympics.
You want to talk about the Olympics first?
I'm gonna actually let Carlos and Vince chime in, and Age, if you want to kick it off, it's up to you. Whatever you guys want to roll with.
By the way, this is Flo LeBeau. Let me introduce you to my friend Flo.
Flo, my bad.
He just said age.
My brother is age.
All right.
Shout out
I like
to
your brother
Abe.
more than you, man.
You know my brother better than me.
Well, and LeBeau is aging. That's why his
And I'm
brain
aging.
is not working.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's jump into the Olympics. I have been binging the Olympics for the last week or so. It's fun. We love it at the house. Lots of highlights, lots of lowlights. I do want to hear about your favorite pole vault moments as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, no, of course, who can hate on the American gymnastics team? America's darlings, right? They did it big. Simone Biles came through. She really is, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, or maybe one of the greatest of all time, right? Depending on what era you're from. I'm sure that we've had a lot of different great gymnasts throughout the decades, but she definitely is the current GOAT. So it was a lot of fun to watch them. A lot of heartbreaking moments too. As we watched, for example, she was up, I think it was the balance beam where she fell off, and she didn't even place in that event from what I remember, which was kind of a drag. But yeah, man, we've been watching a lot of Olympic swimming too. Swimming has been crazy. That dude from France is a total beast. The swimmer, whatever his name is, Marchand, or he'd pop his head out of water and everybody was chanting. That would have been crazy to have something like that here in the US for Michael Phelps, right? When he continuously won all those golds, that would have been amazing. So for that guy to have that experience in France, I think it's pretty incredible.
So yeah, dude, I'm infatuated with the sprinters, the
100 meters,
the 100, dude, Noah Lyles, and that was great, wasn't it?
Who won that? Like I was trying to watch it.
Noah Lyles did.
Yeah. Oh wow!
By like a nose,
dude. Literally, I don't know if you've ever seen that skit of Jerry Seinfeld, where he's like, where he's talking about gold. It's like gold medal, silver, bronze. Never heard of the guy.
No, I never saw that, but that's funny.
But yeah, it's him and Gabby Thomas, like smart girl, won gold in the 200 meter. And they did the co-ed 4x. And dude, that was like one of my favorite. The US pretty much dominated in that area.
So they had a 4x relay race that was co-ed.
Yeah.
Is this the first time they've had that in the Olympics? Has that always been there? I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either, but it was pretty exciting.
Dude, that sounds dope.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know the medal count is we're up 24. Right behind us is China at 22 as far as gold medals. We're at 86 medals.
Total? Overall.
Yeah, that's 86. Crazy. And behind us is China, which is 59.
We're more than 30 medals ahead of the next closest country.
That's crazy, right?
Two ahead with gold, because China has 22 gold and we have 24, but 30 total. Yeah,
that's wild.
I seen a meme where it was like the United States tennis table team, Chinese tennis table, but like all the United States tennis table girls were Chinese.
Beating out the China.
Like, what's going on here?
Dude, it's crazy. It's the same thing like with the NBA, right? So when you think about basketball, you think, of course, of the NBA, but you always forget that a lot of the players are international. So you have like Jokic playing for whatever it is,
and Serbia.
Yeah, and you've got all of these international players, which is kind of crazy. So, the U.S. from time to time will get a little bit of competition, but for the most part, in basketball, they're still pretty dominant. They're favored to win the gold, right? Is that a stupid question? Are they favored to win the gold?
Yeah, I think they're taking it doesn't seem like they're taking this too serious. It's like they're on a vacation in France playing basketball.
Dude, they're winning by like 30 and 40 points, though.
Not all of the games.
Not all of them.
No,
they're playing. We're talking the U.S. team, right?
Yes,
they're playing tonight against Brazil in the quarterfinals. So that's where we're at in the lineup.
So I mean, there's only like been one good Brazilian player, right? Like Paul Gasol wasn't he like the Brazilian
dude? That is so. There's only been one good Brazilian player.
Wasn't that Paul?
No, I'm sure there's been
Gasol, the guy that played for the Lakers, like been the only Brazilian basketball player that's ever.
So, quick question, being that we're talking about the Olympics. So, when you guys were in high school, did you ever compete in any swimming, like racing, anything?
I got a story for you guys. So, You know, when I'm a complex individual, right?
I could agree.
I'm a pretty, you know, low key guy, easygoing guy, but from time to time, my rough edges do come out a little bit. It was the same thing in high school. I almost did not graduate high school, and I feel like I was maybe yeah, yes, I feel like I was like 1 or 2 credits short of my, you know, the requirement.
LeBeau just did a 5th year.
Super senior, bro.
There you go. So one of the teachers was like, Carlos, I will give you extra credit, but you have to run track. And I thought he was totally kidding. I thought he was totally kidding. He allowed me to run track for like the extra credits that I needed to graduate. I went out there, I ran. I didn't dislike it. Actually, I still jog every now and then. My knees, my 50-year-old knees aren't as great as they used to be, but I actually didn't mind it. Anyway, long story short, I got my credits. I was introduced to a great sport, which is track and field, and I graduated. So, you know, good stuff. But yeah, so thank you, track and field, for my high school diploma.
How about you, Flo?
Not really. No, I didn't do anything in high school.
Didn't you play baseball?
No. You just ran from the police when you were a kid, right?
Pretty much. I actually dropped out of high school, and then I went back and was able to graduate with my class. But
there you go.
But yeah, I dropped out for a while, so I didn't get into it.
Just to let everybody know, he was part of the Mafioso crew that we were too. So yes, we were.
But he was a youngin'. He was the little brother that we always tried to protect. We didn't do a good job of it.
I could have swore you played baseball though, dude. Didn't you play baseball?
No.
No? Okay.
My sister was into softball. Maybe you're thinking that. But
I know your sister did, yeah.
Yeah.
No. In
I
fact,
played sports.
Family.
You Sandoval's all kind of do look alike, so.
What do you mean, you people?
Jeez. One Brazilian player, you people. All right. Jeez, man.
Joe,
right.
you were a competitive person when
Joe
you were in
played
school.
sports. I played a little. I played basketball, football. I think those were just the only 2 that I played.
Hacky sack.
Hacky sack, yeah. Hacky burn, all that fun stuff.
He was good.
Remember that hacky burn? Whoever dropped the hacky in the circle, you got burned with it. Bam. That was hurtful.
Yeah, I always ask the kids now. I'm like, what are you guys doing? No hacky sack or anything? You guys are lame.
Yeah, I know, dude. How can hacky sack go out of style? It was like life at the bus stop.
I'll tell you how it can go out of style, dude. COVID. Everyone stayed home to themselves. How can you play hacky sack like
this is how
by
it
yourself?
Out of style.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there's a hacky sack on your phone.
or they're watching YouTube videos of somebody playing hacky sack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man,
eating Doritos.
I want to know what sports LeBeau played.
Dude, I started every single sport in high school.
Right, baby.
I never finished because I couldn't stay eligible.
Dang it.
So, I mean, that was there. Like, and that's because I'm like taking first place on Street Fighter at 7-Eleven.
If you guys don't know, like, I'm gonna give you props, Bo, because he took an extra year to graduate. But this dude's probably he's probably the smartest out of all of us.
Wait, are you serious? You didn't graduate with us?
No.
No, dude.
Dude, I did not know that this whole time.
I know.
He's laughing with you.
I'm telling
That's
you,
because you were too focused on track and field, bro.
Track and field.
Street Fighter.
he was running his butt off to graduate.
Getting chapped. He's getting all chapped.
Dude, it was hard, but man, you know what? Looking back, it was like I would have died if I would have spent another year in school. I was ready to get out of high school. I mean, I didn't mind it, I guess, but I was ready to move on with the next chapter, right? I was
Didn't
ready.
You have to write a teacher a love song or something too?
No, I did that for fun.
He wrote it to Miss Daganakis, dude.
Oh dang,
the home ec teacher, dude. Like he was
bro.
Oh my goodness.
Mrs. Daganakis.
Oh man.
You know I'm at
she
this.
baked him a cake and you wrote a letter.
Y'all are wild.
And you folded it into a football. All right. Hey, I know I don't want to go way off into this, but maybe we will. And we didn't even talk about this, but how about the controversy with the Olympic introduction, like the opening ceremony? How'd y'all feel about that? Because I'll tell you why I say it, because I posted a video from one of my friends on my Facebook and just got all kinds of people trying to educate me and trying to tell me, you know, and for context, my friend John McCrae, he has a YouTube channel called What Do You Meme? And it's a Christian culture content type of channel. And so he simply says, hey, there's controversy about the introduction. Did it look like, you know, the Last Supper, blah, blah, blah. And really kind of his whole angle was, how can we respond as Christians? How can we respond, you know, and really just loving people and trying to stay, you know, he offered different ways to respond, different ways that other people responded. You know, they get angry. Some people decided to boycott, some people, you know, the whole thing. And he said, at the end of the day, just, you know, choose what you want to do, but let's just share the love of God, which was really balanced in my opinion. And people who commented on my Facebook post, which was just a share of his video, wasn't even me saying anything, was trying to educate me on the whole thing without watching it, about what it was supposed to be versus what it seemed to be versus what people took it as versus all of the above. So
I think in this day and age, it's clear that anybody that has that large of a platform really needs to be conscientious of perception, whether or not the Olympics and the LGBTQ community intended to, you know, pattern stylistically what they did after the Last Supper or not. I don't know that we'll ever know the actual answer to that. Certainly the Olympics and the LGBTQ plus community, they're saying that it wasn't that. Whatever the case might be, right? My opinion on the subject is that, I'll give you a story first. I have a really good friend who lives out in Texas. Super brilliant guy. He graduated from Jack Hayford's college out in California, seminary.
King's
right?
College.
King's College.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant theologist, brilliant debater. Like, this guy is one of the most smartest guys I've ever met. Right out of college, he used to go to these public squares out in LA where he lived, and he would debate atheists in public. And this gentleman, my friend, would get such joy and happiness out of like just smashing on these atheists. He would just like humiliate them, right? Because they're not as smart as him. They're not as quick as him. They're not as good of a debater as him. And he would just verbally and, you know, just like pummel them during these debates. And he was so excited telling me about it once. And you know, my heart really was conflicted a little bit about the situation. And I asked him a question. I said, what is your ultimate goal in doing this? Is your goal to show that you know more about certain theological issues than they do? Is your goal to maybe give them something to think about when they walk away from your conversation? What is your goal? Because I will tell you this, that no one has ever entertained a relationship with God by being humiliated, right, by the person trying to tell them about God. He stopped and he was like, gosh, you know what? I never thought about it that way. And really, I find the scenario with the Olympics being somewhat similar. There's always going to be people that oppose our perspectives, our beliefs. That's a given, right? We live in a vast world with vast points of views. How we respond to those views will dictate how the person on the other side will respond to us. And depending on what our goal is will depend on how we need to respond to them in kind. We had a conversation with the pastor of our church, and we were talking about it. And I presented the same challenge. What is our goal? Is our goal to show that, you know, the Christian church is bigger, is more influential? What is it that we're trying to do? Because if we want to invite this community to our churches, I can tell you that the response should not be in anger. I can tell you that the response should not be hateful. I can tell you that the response shouldn't be something that is going to push them further away than they may already be, right? And I say that somewhat cautiously because I don't know somebody's relationship with God, right? That's between them and God. What I do know is that depending on how I respond or how I treat a person will directly correspond to the way that they engage with whatever it is that I'm wanting them to engage with. In this case, being the church, being a relationship with God, if they currently don't have one, right? So I think that the global church really should think about that. Anyway, that's all I'll say on the matter, because I feel like if you ask 100 people about the situation, you will get 100 different responses, 100 different opinions, and that's fine and that's valid, right? But at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, what response am I trying to get out of this conversation? And then ultimately tailor your response to the incident based on what it is that you want the response to be.
And that's a perfect segue into our next topic, Carlos. This how outreach happens today, and how is it even going out there? Like, I personally am not out there doing an outreach or anything of that nature, but what's happening in those worlds? Like, we know Flow because of the outreach aspect of things and stuff like that. And how has that changed? Where is it at today? And it's a perfect point of saying, you're not going to reach anyone if you're always putting them down. Like you're saying with the guy that was your friend or a coworker or something. Yeah, you're not going to reach someone. What is that? What is the saying? You get more flies with honey than you do bees with vinegar or something like that, or whatever the saying is.
You're
right?
totally off.
So,
It's totally wrong.
What is it?
You get more bees with honey.
Yeah, more bees with honey than you do flies with vinegar, right?
He's like, you get more cheetahs when you spray peppermint scent.
You get more cinnamons with clicks and swipes.
So I just before we hit the outreach, I just want to say real quick, because I agree with you. Very good way of putting it, of the way we present ourselves as Christians, showing God's love, as opposed to telling everybody what they're doing wrong instead of inviting with love. But I also think on the other end, it goes the other way too. Like, there should have been some awareness on their end of what they were doing, where they were aware of what they were doing as far as putting on. And if they were intending on making it a mockery, then that's not being aware on their end, trying to create peace within the boundaries of what is going on today. Are they saying, well, this is our way or no way, of doing things? And their self-awareness of, like, saying, I think it could have been presented another way if it was going to be presented by the LGBTQ community. If that was the way they could have gone about it a different way. I think France as a whole, I think they could have shown a little more, I don't know how to put it, just a little more awareness of what the situation was. You look at China, the one they represented, they actually represented what the country was. Their opening was just ridiculous. That it was like one of the best openings I've ever seen. And they presented their culture. Now France is saying, well, this is our culture, this is who we are. Fine, but just be aware of who your viewers are as a whole, not just as a percentage of people. I think that's the only thing that I feel like there should have been a little more awareness and knowing if somebody saw it, they should have been like, that is a little too close to depicting of this imagery. And I think it could have been done a different way. You know, if it was presented a different way, I think people would have respected it a little bit more. But who knows?
I don't know. I don't know what way that would have been. But Flo, what do you think, man?
So I've been on vacation. I was on vacation when the Olympics started. So
good excuse.
We hadn't even watched anything, and then we seen on social media and started seeing all the controversy and everything about how the beginning was, how the intro was, and my wife and I, we've always watched the Olympics. We've always sat down and had them on every night, and it just yes, being on vacation. I mean, we weren't going to do that on vacation, but even now that we're home, we haven't even turned it on, and it just sort of like killed the vibe to want to even and watch it. But I agree somewhat. I mean, with the both of what both Vince and Carlos were saying is, you know, I think it was in bad taste. If they weren't trying to be a mockery, it sure looked like a mockery to someone who's a Christian. You know, that straight looked like a mockery. They went in to have the red horse and and continued on with all that. But at the same time, you can't, right? So you can't expect non-Christians to act like Christians, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if Christians got up and started saying you guys are sinners, you're going to hell, there'd be an uproar. If there was a live television event like that where Christians were up there condemning the LGBTQ, there would be a huge uproar. People would be getting canceled. Shows would be getting canceled. But they make a mockery out of the Lord's Supper in Christ, and it's, like I said, you can't expect non-Christians to act like Christians. So with what Carlos was saying, how do you react? You got to react in love.
Yeah.
Let me put a spin on it, and I may get crucified, pun intended, for doing this, and I'm fine. I walk on the edge. That's what I do.
Yeah, look at you, you and that beard walking on the edge.
I feel like there needs to be some bad boy rock and roll playing right now.
Your hair barely reached the edge of your chin. All right.
Let me ask you this. You guys have heard, well, I'm not going to go that route. Let me just ask the question. Would anybody have ever considered that a tribute as opposed to a mockery?
No.
Why not?
Because of the controversy and lifestyle.
It's the content. It has all
the context.
With content.
But had they not been wearing makeup, had they not been wearing dresses, you can't tell if someone is heterosexual or homosexual, right?
Sure.
It's an inward thing. So in my opinion, why would you allow something that you may or may not know what it's representing offend you that much? There are tributes that are done to other religions of the world all the time by by people who don't belong to those religions all the time. So, another way to look at it is maybe, and I'm not saying this is actually what happened, so don't quote me on this, but why would Christians automatically insinuate that it's something being done in a disparaging way as opposed to a way to pay tribute, right? Catholicism, Christianity is a major part of that part of the world. It has been for centuries. So why wouldn't that be a part of the opening ceremonies? And why couldn't anybody looking whatever they want to look like pay homage to that? I'm just asking the question because, again, you have actors and you have theatrical people dress up all the time. It's a huge industry, right, in the US. So why couldn't these folks go out and do the same thing? I'm trying to present different vantage points, because I feel like, you know, Christians are almost at the same amount of fault here, because I feel like they were just out for like virtuous blood here. Oh my gosh, you know, you mock what I believe, therefore I need to retaliate. Well, this isn't new to the church. If in fact that's actually what was being done, I'm not saying that that's what was being done, but if that is what was being done, it's not new to the church. The church has always been mocked. The church has always been ridiculed. The church has always been the outcast. And now, you know, we decide to respond because it's this community, right, that did it. Could it be that this is why the community, the LGBTQ plus community, is so estranged from the church? Because we're so sensitive about everything that they do that even when they say that wasn't our intention, we don't want to believe it, right? Because it's like, well, surely you were mocking God because you hate God. Well, that's not necessarily true in every case, guys. And I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here, but you know, why couldn't it have been a tribute as opposed to a mockery? Is it just because men were wearing makeup?
Well, it wouldn't have been a tribute because it has nothing to do with the Olympics in general. So the thought of it even being a tribute, even well-intentioned, if you will, isn't even a thought because of the nature of the event, in my opinion, right? So why would that even be a thing? And so it's just contrary to the values, the morals, kind of all of the above. I do agree though, that we should respond in love, but to your point, Carlos, I don't think it's just this time alone. I think when Madonna was burning crosses way back in the 80s in her videos, and I think when more recently, I can't remember his name now, the guy that the Old Town whatever song that he came out with, that newer song where Little Nas is twerking on the devil. Like the Christians have always like rose up in instances like that where it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we doing this? So I don't think it's just this. I think it happens. And I agree that the church has always been persecuted, ridiculed, mocked, you know, in certain eras. And for the most part, it just seems like people are trying to get a rise out of everybody to try to shock and awe us. And then they move on, you know? So that's where I'm at. I think what I would throw out there too is, while I think we all agree it should be responded with love, and it's certainly not the athlete's fault. So we're watching the Olympics because it's not their fault. They didn't design the intro. And I love sports. I love the competitive nature of it. So I'm not going to ban them for what this is. That was our family's decision, for what we thought or didn't think, or offended or not offended. But think about this. We live in a world of social media where anybody could say whatever they want, and that didn't used to be the case before. Now, you also have Christians on every spectrum, from I just got saved to I've been saved. And you got Christians that I just got saved and the church I go to is teaching me love. And then you got, I just got saved and the church that I'm going to teaches me to be bold and to go crazy on people who do this. And then you got people who have been saved forever. Like, all I'm saying is you've got all of these different Christians within the Christian community. And it's so easy for us to say, let's all love, when you've got like a certain percentage that want to retaliate because of their background, or they haven't gotten rid of that issue of unforgiveness or that issue of hot-headedness, even though they love Christ, and they're doing this. Am I making sense at all? Like, you just have way too many people that are able to speak their mind in this day and age. And we can't even really say anymore Christians should, because every Christian, to Carlos's point earlier, has a different response and a different part of the journey. And it's all that to say is it's only God's grace that his word is being still carried out in the world in spite of all of our craziness.
And it's like, you know, when your kids do something like that is out of line, you're like, hey, dude, that shouldn't have been done, dude. You shouldn't be doing that. But you still love them because they're your children, you know. You still love whoever it is, you love your neighbor. You might get along, not get along with your neighbor. I don't know if you still loved your neighbor after he told you to go cut his lawn, but
I wanted to love him with both hands closed.
But I mean, it's like, you know, as a Christian, you are still supposed to love that person, you know. And there are two different sides. I think there's a lot of people who do say I'm a Christian or I'm a follower of God or Jesus, that there's a lot of people who fully don't understand what that means, because they deal with their, I want to say, more religion in hate rather than in love. So are they
right?
truly
Yeah.
Christian?
All that to say is we're all over the place. So let's wrap this up. I want to do something fun. Give me a percentage, every one of us, without explanation. Give me a percentage on a scale from 0% to 100%. How much did it offend you? And are you still, not how you replied, just how much did it offend you on a scale from 1 to 100%? And are you still watching the Olympics?
Before I give you my percentage, I want
to
hold on, wait, because this is important for me to say.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting that the church in general and the LGBTQ plus community have been at such odds. Like, it's crazy, right? How much Christians detest LGBTQ plus and what they do. And I say that that's a very general statement, but this is a reflection of that sense. And the same thing with LGBTQ plus, right? They just feel some kind of way about Christians because they've been thrown out of churches. They haven't been accepted, right? A lot of them have parents that unfortunately rejected them because of their Christian roots, which, you know, being a father of a child who is in the community, in the LGBTQ plus community, which I'm incredibly proud of, love them to death. And you guys have heard me talk about Sebastian ad nauseum. I can tell you that as a Christian, we should not be excluding people for what we think their sin is. We just should not. If you believe that it's a sin to be a gay, you know, or bisexual, or whatever the case might be, my recommendation to you is focus on your own sin, right? And that is the admonition that I would give to the church today. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing to stay right with God, right? Because this push of an entire community away from, you know, God's place, in my opinion, is the biggest tragedy of all. I think that churches should welcome the LGBTQ plus community with open arms, regardless. If you don't understand the why, if you don't understand, you know, the how, it doesn't matter, right? Every church door should be open to every person, regardless of what they look like. So anyway, that's all I'll say about that.
And I don't want to burst that bubble either, but I don't think you're totally accurate on everybody, like the church in general, detesting. I don't detest them. I'm a pastor. I welcome that, you know, and the people that I know
come a long way. Sorry to walk.
No, go for it.
The churches came a long way.
Yeah, and maybe you know, because we're kind of messed up with what we see on social media, but I think I agree, Flo. Like, I love the community with all my heart. I accept them. I embrace them. But I also think there's a difference between accepting and affirming, you know, and I also think at some point, just like any sin, to your point, Carlos, that we all have, there has to come to the topic of how God feels about any type of sin, right? In a loving way. And so, but with that said, I don't feel like, at least from my perspective, the church in general detests. I think that's maybe definitely a percentage, but in the people I know, I don't know any church leader or any friend of mine that detests that community. So I don't know. That's where I'm coming from. I agree, though. We got to love.
Yeah.
So
we always talk about, we always have topics on here that are just, you'll never solve on one podcast, dude. We have these deep topics that are definitely like ingrained and rooted in society and what it takes. There's not one good answer. There's not one bad answer. I guess that's probably the good part of it, I guess.
And can I just say, it's awesome that I'm a part of it. I'm always watching you guys and I'm geeking out because, I mean, you guys are my homies from back in the day, but hey, I'm having a blast anyway.
I love it,
we geek out about you, brother. We geek out about you.
Well, here's the thing. Like when Flo saw me at Micro Center, he's like, dude, I love the podcast. That was one of the first things he said. And he was even talking about, LeBeau's library and all that stuff that we talked about. So it was super cool, man.
Speaking of, what's behind all those books?
I
think I told Joe, I just so wished I could just.
His Tia is sleeping in the back over there.
That's where all the studio lights.
That's where I keep all the Venezuelans, bro.
Oh my God.
You want to go there? Like, let's do this.
Oh my God.
Are we
got a cancel tour now?
This video is going to have YouTube's going to put something at the bottom of it with the border thing warning.
Warning.
Yeah. Or the truth or whatever.
I will add real quick before we move on or whatever. I was on vacation and I got home. I had to hit the ground running, come back to work and all that. So I just haven't had time to put the Olympics on. I'm not opposed to throwing it on and watching the Olympics. That didn't boycott it or stop it for me. It just the situation. I haven't seen anything.
So that's why you always have to educate yourself. And Carlos, I want to say this because you don't ever jump to conclusion right away and just think you see it and you're like, oh, they're mocking, because there's context behind it. Is it true or not? I don't know if it was true or not. So I admit at first when I initially seen it, I was 100% offended because I was like, what? That's total mockery. But then you start to do the research on what's going on. And I'm like with age, man. I'm not gonna. It's just.
Let me introduce you to my friend
Flo.
Yeah, he busted him.
That's dude. We're gonna have to.
His name is on there, bro. His name.
We're gonna have to donate $1 every time we say his name wrong. But
PayPal. I'll put my PayPal on the screen.
Right?
Yeah. Do it.
Flo. What's the soup of the day?
But here's the thing. So you formulate, and I know we're going on and on and on about this, but this is good stuff. This is good conversation because I feel like America needs to do what we're doing now and talk about these conversations and get comfortable with being a little bit uncomfortable at times. I think that's tolerance, right? Is being able to have a difference of opinion and still being able to talk about it. So what we're doing now actually is in the service of the community, which is awesome. But
that's what I'm saying. We always have these topics that need to go deeper, that need to have that continued.
So here's what I would say. In the age of social media, right? You have one person put out their opinion out there. Oh my gosh, did you see that so-and-so and this and this? And then all of a sudden, someone else shares that opinion, and then someone else, and then someone else, and then that clip becomes viral, and now there are millions of people feeling a certain way, right? Without really having the big picture. Another example of that could be the boxer from what was the country?
Algeria.
Algeria.
Yeah.
Algeria.
Right? Apparently, it was a trans woman.
No.
Well, hold on. I'm going somewhere with this.
Oh, it was a trans woman that made this statement. You're saying
what I'm saying is
it's more complex than that.
Yes. So immediately people jump to social media saying that's a transgender person fighting in there. It's a man fighting a woman, right? She hits too hard. They were banned from the 2023 World Championships by the IBA because they had XY chromosomes, right? Now it's coming out that actually this isn't a man. This person is not a man. she's a woman who has some sort of genetic condition.
She has both parts
that shows
DSD,
right?
or whatever. Yeah.
So this is another example where you have people jumping to these conclusions because they have such strong feelings about this community. And I say that using this as an example, and I'm telling you, man, like I include myself in this situation as a church, because I do go to church. I am a Christian. The church has a lot of work to do with regard to how you feel about this particular community. It is not okay to jump to these conclusions because someone else said something, right? And you had this entire campaign scrutinizing this person. Can you imagine being this person?
I don't think that was, dude, I don't think that was the church scrutinizing this situation. I think that was just people coming out like,
well, these were,
it almost became more of a political thing,
like participating, bro. It wasn't a Christian thing.
Well, I can tell you it was conservative thinking, right? It wasn't, maybe not necessarily the church, but it was conservative thinking that they felt like, I don't know if this is okay.
Well, the stuff I seen was just like, it was like men saying, bro, you're going to try to beat up a lady, I'm going to beat you up. That doesn't have,
but it wasn't totally fault. Like both sides, there's some truth to both sides about the boxer also. So I mean, because she did in fact fail the test of the testosterone test or whatever it was, showing that she had male testosterone in her because she was born with both parts. And that's a whole other, because I mean, what do you do at that point? Because
I think they should just disqualify that person in general. It's easier to hurt the one person's feelings than to hurt a whole world.
Well, and that might be the case, right? Maybe the Olympics will move to do that. But I watched, who was it? It was, I can't remember which, it was a combat athlete. So they were either a boxer or an MMA fighter. And they were talking about how they fought, right, their entire careers against people who had different levels of testosterone in them. He was like, if someone ever asked me as a combat fighter to take a supplement to lower my testosterone so that it could be a more fair fight, like, that's asinine. It's a crazy concept.
You wouldn't.
So why would you do this to this athlete? Right. So there are a lot of things that I think as a society, we need to think through before we jump into these social media conversations and try and make our opinion known because we think we're on moral high ground when we have no idea. Right. And that, in my opinion, again, is just another reflection of where we are really on the issue. Anyway, we can go on
and we could. And let me, I just got to say one last thing too. Like, I know, I hear what you're saying, Carlos, as far as the church definitely has more work to do. But again, here, my perspective is this. I don't think that the church in general does not love this group of people and is out to attack. I think it's when that particular group, the LGBTQ group, tries to force and make you feel away if you don't agree with them, which we obviously do not. There's a lot of disagreement. So that's where the conflict comes, but it's not a hate thing. It's not go away, you're this, you're that. It's I don't agree, and please don't make me feel like I have to. I love you. Do what you want to do. I'm okay with that, but don't force me. Don't make me feel bad for me not believing like you. That's where the controversy comes. That's where the tension is. Not that we don't love them. That's the hard part to deal with. And that could be with anything, any opposing, morals or any opposing views, I guess, is where I'm at.
Yeah, I was just listening to a podcast. Once again, a big fan of the PBD Comcast, and he was interviewing Russell Peters, and he's an atheist, but there's not a view of like, I can't talk to you because you don't believe in God. And
yeah,
Russell
he wasn't
Peters,
judging him.
And PBD's Christian. He's a born again Christian, and he's like, I understand where you are. I still love you as a person, even though you have a different view. But it doesn't exclude the love I should show you as a Christian. What your beliefs are, whether I agree with it or not, I still, as a Christian, I am taught to love you, and that's the way a lot of all Christians should think.
Yeah,
that's the way we were.
Do you guys remember? On it. Do you guys remember that song by DC Talk? What if I stumble? You remember that sample at the beginning of the song where it's an old timey guy. I don't even know who said it, but they're like the greatest cause of atheism in the world today is Christians. And I feel like part of the reason why that statement may hold true in my mind is because as Christians, we often feel like we have the moral high ground. Like we are in a better place ethically and morally to look at people. And that's just not accurate. That is just not theologically accurate. I think that we all need God. We all need repentance. We all need God's mercy, irrespective of the details in our lives, irrespective of how we decide to dress, how we decide to feel about ourselves. We all need God's grace and God's forgiveness, right? And I feel like a lot of the people that have that divide with Christianity, it's because they see Christians as these people who are looking down their nose at them, right? Maybe that's inaccurate on my part. Maybe it's
just the translation portion of it, dude, because when you think about it like holistically, if you're doing right, and what's this, so then you're asking, so what is right? What's right? What's wrong? Right. But if you seem to be doing right according to what you believe is right, doesn't that elevate you? Doesn't that put you on a higher ground? If you're doing things according to your moral compass and your moral values, doesn't that elevate you?
That's an internal question for everybody to ask themselves.
Well, and I mean, I think, from the Christian perspective, Paul says, I'm the least of these. Like he's the first to say, I'm the sinner, and that's really the perspective we should. Yeah. Like, I know I'm an idiot. I'll tell everybody on the podcast right now, I'm not better than anybody, but I could certainly understand what you're saying, Carlos.
Not me, dude. I'm better than all y'all, dude. Like,
there are some Christians out there, just like there are from every camp that's extreme and kind of mess it up for what everybody really wants in the world.
Just need to stop expecting non-Christians to act like Christians.
I love that, Flo. Stop expecting non-Christians to act like Christians. I love that. We got to make a shirt out of that.
Expect them to act like Christians.
Not that I'm, I don't know how I should say this.
I'm not even Christian.
There's.
Well, I expect you to act like it.
So, hey, bro, I'm not even Christian, bro. I'm not practicing. I'm not even LGBTQ. So I take 50-50 down the road on this subject, bro. I think it's important for Christians and people of the LGBTQ community to respect each other and both meet each other halfway down the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it just goes back to that's where the conflict comes, when they both feel like there's a forceful, thing coming from either one. But we can keep going. Let's move on a little bit here.
Let's get out of the schoolyard and go on.
Let's go to the what is that? The what effect, LeBeau?
The Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Have you guys heard of this? The Mandela effect?
Talk to us about it.
I've been on vacation with Flo. I haven't seen anything or experienced anything in the last 2 weeks.
LeBeau, what's the definition of
the Mandela effect? So I don't know like the actual, definition. One of you guys could look it up really quick, and I'm sure you guys got all them tools at your disposal to look at the definition of the Mandela effect. But the Mandela effect, that subject that came up in my household recently.
Well, let's let Flo define it real quick.
Okay, Flo, you define it, buddy.
He's got it.
Just the very well mind. This is the first thing that popped up. The Mandela effect refers to a situation in which a large mass of people believes that an event occurred when it did not.
Oh,
there you go.
Originated in 2009, and it goes on, but that's the basic.
Yep.
Okay.
So a
What
large
event are we
mass of
talking
people- a large mass of people believe something happened or something's a certain way, and it's not that way, or it's meant to trick people into something happening like a different way, if that makes sense. Yeah. So this
Like
is
a
kind of cool.
conspiracy theorist kind of.
Conspiracy theory. Yeah, that's a very good thing, Carlos. So something that recently came up in my household is that Jen, she said, okay, let me bring something to this. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys individually something, and you guys tell me, okay? So I'm going to describe something, a product. So this product, it's a pizza roll. You throw it in the microwave. You warm it up. No, pizza roll.
Oh,
okay. You warm it up. You throw it in the microwave. Burns the crap out of your tongue. What is the brand of that pizza roll?
Pizza roll. Not Hot Pocket.
Tortino's.
What did you say, Vince?
Tortino's.
Tortino's. Okay. What do you think the brand is? Joe? Pizza rolls that you warm in the microwave.
I just know them as pizza rolls, but I think it's Tortino's.
Flo, what do you think the brand name is?
Kroger.
Kroger? Okay, yeah. Kroger probably makes pizza
89
rolls.
cent.
Kroger, you better hook up that sponsorship,
I'm
bro.
surprised you guys don't know this. Carlos, what is the brand of pizza rolls that you throw in the microwave?
Look at my body, bro. What about this body tells you that I feed it pizza rolls?
Pizza rolls, do you? Joe, do you want to come back?
You want a pizza roll?
Vince is close. Vince is
I mean, I kind of have the cheat code over here, but I still wouldn't have guessed it because you gave me some things to show.
So growing up, I always called it Totino's Pizza.
Yes.
You guys remember Totino's?
Yes.
Tortino's.
Yeah. What if I told you it was called? What if I told you guys it was called Tostino's?
Tostino's
with an S. Tostinos.
I thought it was Tortino's.
It's Totino's.
No, Vince is saying Tortino's, like T-O-R.
Vince is saying
I thought it was Tortino's too.
Tortino's. Didn't you, Joe?
Yeah, I thought it was Tortino's.
Yeah.
Tortino's.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking of it was the Latino coming out of me thinking about tortilla.
Tortino's. So it is currently Totino's, but the Mandela effect is saying that it's never been Totino's pizza rolls. It's always been Tostino's pizza rolls with an S. So I got a couple examples. Joe, you got some up there. You'll throw these logos up. Okay, Fruit of the Loom. So Fruit of the Loom, a lot of people say that.
Sorry for the large image.
Fruit of the Loom, you can take it down, Joe. A lot of people say that the Fruit of the Loom logo never had the cornucopia behind the fruit on Fruit of the Loom. What do you guys remember growing up?
I know that pole vaulter wasn't wearing the right size of Fruit of the Looms.
He needed a cornucopia.
I remember skid marks.
Skid marks on my Fruit of the Looms.
I don't remember the cornucopia, but I remember grapes and an apple and
the
from the commercials, right?
Not to wear Fruit of the Looms.
All right.
I want to know if LeBeau wore Fruit of the Looms under those spandex.
You wearing some tidy whities?
Throw up another one, Joe. Let's see if we can keep going.
So what was the point of that one, though?
The Fruit of the Looms is that Fruit of the Loom is saying that the cornucopia was never part of their logo.
Oh, the one on the left.
The one on the left. So Fruit of the Loom came out and said, no, we've never, ever had the cornucopia portion of this logo in our logo.
Now, did somebody draw that or why did that become a thing?
No, but I remember that the cornucopia was there, right? You can take it down, Joe. I remember the cornucopia part was there. Do you guys remember that cornucopia part?
I don't.
No?
I don't know.
No, if
They
I
said
had
it
to.
was never part of their
I
logo,
don't think
dude.
I ever studied my undies that much.
I mean, my
All right,
mom
go to
wrote
the
on a
next one,
marker. All right.
Okay, all right, here we go. Oscar Mayer, right? Okay, take it down, Joe. Take it down.
Which one's
All
correct?
right. Who knows the song? My baloney has a first name. It's
Meyer.
okay, Meyer.
Yeah.
Okay. My baloney has a second name. It's
Oh, first name is Oscar. M-E-Y-E-R.
There you go. Vince knows the song. My baloney has a first
name. The only reason why I know is because Brie, her like maiden name is Myers.
This segment is baloney.
Has it always been Meyer? M-E-Y-E-R?
Yes.
That was for the singer.
Her last name?
Okay.
She could remember. Yeah.
Brienne's name. This is a good one for the Mandela effect, dude. If Brienne's name has always been Meyer, M-E-Y-E-R.
Yeah.
That was never the way it was. It's M-A-Y-E-R. So it's the one on the right. So it's Oscar Mayer, M-A-Y-E-R. I'm positive, dude. Oscar Mayer even came out and said Oscar Mayer is M-A-Y-E-R.
Then why did they sing it M-E-Y-E-R? Didn't they?
They said
it's A.
They sang it as A, bro.
Probably the southern twang in the.
There was no A. There was no A. It was A.
Do you guys remember these? Okay.
Oscar Mayer. All I know is that they make cheap weenies. Oh no, that's Bar S. That's Bar S. Never mind.
Yeah, Bar S.
Okay.
The pole vaulter didn't have a cheap
They need to sign the pole vaulter up for Oscar Mayer, bro.
Dude, I missed whatever the pole vaulting is because I didn't see it.
Oh, dude.
You
I didn't say it. I swear I didn't.
You didn't miss nothing. Just don't. Let's move on from the pole vaulter, bro. Let's move on. Let's go to the next one. What do we got?
Dude, he's like the most American Frenchman. Wasn't he a Frenchman?
I don't know.
All right, here we go, guys. Fruit Loops. How do you guys remember it's spelled? F-R-U-I-T or F-R-O-O-T?
O-O-T, because I saw the movie.
Yeah.
Because you can't spell
I'm going to go with the O.
You can't spell it F-R-U-I-T because then people will think there's actual fruit in it, and fruit will spoil in the box.
You're probably right, Carlos. You're probably very correct.
Plus, I remember all those.
But it's not. It's actually F-R-U-I-T is the way
it is.
Yes.
What?
I thought it was the O-O.
Oh, no way.
Which is crazy. So this is the Mandela effect. So if you look at, or if you guys, for those people that are listening online, this is going to be really tough for you. You can take it down, Joe. For you guys that are listening online, it's going to be really, tough for you guys. But for those people that are watching online, what color is my visor?
Black.
Black. What color has it always been black?
No, you were in a blue one.
Oh, you guys caught it. Cool. And that was the Mandela effect. The key was
that was you just trying to be tricky.
Visor and
you changed it.
So I did.
When did you change it?
So
I was going to say
try to see if I can throw you guys off with this whole Mandela effect thing. Popular people thought it was one thing and it changed.
All right, hit us up with the last one.
That was it.
There's this.
Oh, no. Okay, there's one more. There is one more. Okay, yeah, the guy from the Monopoly. So did he always
has the little eye thing?
Did he always have that little eye thing?
Yeah, I remember him with the eye thing.
Barnacle. Yes. It's a barnacle. Isn't that what it's called? A barnacle or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Has he always had the barnacle?
Yes. I think so.
No. So he doesn't have a barnacle because the guy that you're thinking that has the barnacle is Mr. Peanut. He has the barnacle.
Dude, I'm calling BS on all this.
Hey, bro, go and look. Go and check it out. I might be totally lying. Who knows?
You're Mandela affected out, Carlos. That's what you're calling. You just don't believe it, man.
He went like 1 for 3. That's why.
I call cap on that one.
Mandela effect.
That's just like saying, has Carlos's cheeks always been that big?
Or just got a beard.
Dude, that was an amazing face. Do that again.
They've actually slimmed down quite a bit over the last.
I can't do it on command. It's got to come natural.
Yeah. It's the Ozempic that he's been taking.
For those of you guys watching online, you should have seen it. It was hideous. Or listening.
That was pretty cool, though, man. That was pretty cool. I like that segment. That was fun.
That was cool. Good job.
All right. What about our nicknames? Or what are we saying now? Our nicknames.
Look at.
Boom. Yeah. See?
Yeah, you were right, Carlos. He always had that little thing on there.
Dude, that's what I remember. He didn't.
Dude. No, I wasn't trying to say yes or no. I was.
Yes, you did, dude. You said no. He
didn't. Wait, on that one he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. See.
Which
one is it?
He's got the bag,
you
though.
were wrong, Carlos. He doesn't have it.
I don't know.
You were wrong, Carlos. He doesn't have it. So
dude, it doesn't even matter. He was about the bag. He got his bag.
It doesn't though, because this is the whole Mandela effect. This is the whole thing. It's just stuff has changed over the years, and I'm almost positive 1000% it's because of marketing, and you know how these companies want to go the direction they want to go. Like Carlos's point, you don't want to say fruit and Fruit Loops because then you're saying that there's actual fruit in it, type of thing. So for sure.
Well, they changed Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC a while back so people wouldn't hear the word fried. And
is that why they changed it?
That's what I heard. So it wouldn't seem unhealthy.
It makes sense.
It makes good sense.
You know? I feel healthier eating KFC now.
Me too. Dude, I haven't had KFC in like 10 years.
I know, with some Red Hot.
Dude, come on.
I need
KFC, bro. Real quick, KFC or Popeyes?
KFC.
I'm going to go KFC because I haven't had enough Popeyes.
I'd rather do
KFC.
Popeyes.
Popeyes
KFC,
though.
I haven't eaten in a while because I got sick.
Popeyes, they have that mashed potatoes with the chili. Oh man,
the Cajun
I haven't had that in a while.
All right, we
it's
can
just
go
too
Taco Bell or
expensive.
Del Taco.
Oh, Del
Taco
Taco.
Bell. What?
Yeah,
That's a hard one.
Dude, Del
Really?
Taco. Yeah. I'll only do Del Taco if there isn't a Taco Bell around.
Taco Bell
Taco
reminds
Bell
me of
or Del
something that's made on a printer. On one of those freaking 3D printers or something. Come on.
Vince, what do you got? Taco
talking
Bell or
about?
Del Taco?
What?
Taco Bell or Del Taco?
I said Taco Bell.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Like,
Okay,
do you
I
want
go
to?
back to
the Taco
That's
Bell.
like asking, do you want to throw up or do you want to have the squirts?
Okay, Flo, what you got?
I don't know if it's Commerce City water. You got to go to the Taco Bell in Commerce City. It's the same as it was when you were a kid, and it's
I'm
goodness.
gonna have to do that now.
I'm there. The one by Walmart over there.
By the rec center.
Yeah, by the rec center.
Yeah, by the Rec. Okay, I'm there. I did. We went there almost daily.
It's got to be the water. It's just
How
something about
often-
it makes.
The water makes a difference, dude.
I just
because
recently,
a bunch of Latinos work there.
I just recently seen
it's just the same as when you were a kid.
I just recently seen a video of the guy who owns Taco Bell. Dude, his house is that house is huge.
Oh, dude.
You think?
Forget about it.
Do you think he eats Taco Bell?
No.
I went back.
I'm going to go Del Taco, though, guys.
You've seen the Ratatouille movie when he eats that and it just goes right back to a kid. that was me.
I like it, man.
You could go there with $2 and get like 20 tacos.
I have one for you guys. Denny's, Moon Over My Hammy, or Waffle House?
Waffle House.
Waffle House if it's in the south. If it's in the southern somewhere in the south, but not in Colorado.
Dude, I don't think I think it's more Denny's or IHOP. I think that's I don't think Waffle House is on its own.
Get out of here with that, dude.
It's on its own.
Certainly IHOP for you rich.
Waffle House is more like
rich guys.
Like that Central, and Denny's and IHOP are more like drunken Central. Like,
no, I've been pretty drunk at Waffle House.
I know, but you and the 10 crackheads along with it.
Dude, I took my kids to Waffle House in Orlando.
With the crackheads?
No, there weren't any crackheads around. See, that's the Mandela
totally
effect.
Waffle House in Florida, Tennessee.
That's where my son and his boys go at midnight. Waffle House.
Yes, sir.
You go to a Waffle House in Colorado, you're gonna get shot. Especially at midnight.
Only at the Aurora one.
It's crazy that,
especially at the Aurora one.
It's crazy that kind of place has got that kind of rep, you know.
Same thing like what is it, Dollar General? You see those all over the South and in Florida and in Tennessee.
Hey, easy with my Florida.
Yeah, no, I ain't hating, but and they're like the
he ain't hating.
You go to.
He just
they're
thinks
everywhere.
it sucks.
That's why I told my mom, I'm like, because she's looking for a house. Oh, hey, everybody, my mom is a Floridian now.
I know, I heard that.
What? Is she moving?
They moved.
Yeah, they're out
already
here
did.
actually right downstairs.
I was a
as their
Floridian
dog
for
is
2
barking
weeks.
right now.
What?
2 weeks.
No way.
Dude, were you in Florida?
I was.
Thanks,
I was in the golf side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not on your side, bro. Not to be confused with your side.
He was in
I
Tampa
looked it
Bay.
up. I was trying to calculate how far you were, but I was like, I just drove 23 hours. I ain't about to add another 8 to that.
I understand.
Nope.
I did that drive twice.
Yeah.
Hey, let's ask. Let's kick off this last question by asking Flo to give us his perspective on the nickname thing. Now, give me a little context of this question, Vince.
So I was just wondering, because all of us kind of had a nickname, whether it be a nickname that you were given in school or a nickname that we were given as a band member or a group member. So I guess it's funny that you actually put your brand. Is that your brand name, Flo? I mean, because you become a brand right now, you know.
Hey,
so,
bro.
So
OGflow.com.
we
OGflow.com.
we know how you
we know how
you got your nickname, but why don't you explain how that came about?
So you guys actually gave me that nickname. You guys know that, right? You guys named me Flo.
Was that Chuck that gave him?
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which one of you guys did, but you guys went to one of our first concerts.
It was probably me.
I'm sure it was Carlos.
I'm awesome.
But
tell us the story.
All I know is you guys were like, dang,
that dude could flow.
You got up there and just flowed. You were just like, and it was just like flow. You was like, flow time, it's flow time. He's here, it's flow time. And if you guys remember, I was always flow time.
Mm-hmm.
It was
that part I remember.
Flow time, yeah. And that was you guys. I just got on there, flowing and going to come to shake it, breaking, hopping, rap, and just started ripping up. And you guys were like, I didn't know this little guy had it in him.
I wish we would have had you as a bandmate instead of Vince. I think we would have sold a lot more records.
Then you wouldn't have had any music
or money.
We never had money.
Yeah.
Carlos spent it all.
You guys made the brand.
Dude, that's like a revelation right now because we didn't know that. And I mean, I'm thinking back now and I'm remembering that, but I would have never remembered.
I think we did a concert at Crossroads Baptist Church on 104th and Huron.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
And it was like that was when we just had a drum machine. It didn't even have bass drops in it or not. We just went out there with the drum machine, hit start, and we'd be like, oh, hold on, let's restart that. And you just go with the drum machine and rip it up. And
I do remember that concert, bro. That was your first one, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
That was tight.
That was like our first big solo, just throwing a concert on our own. Yeah.
Love it. I remember that. Now we want to save we can talk about all that all day, but we want to have both you and Age like the right, and really kind of dive back into our past soon. We got to do that soon because that's going to be an episode really for
those that don't know, my brother Age they've been talking about Age. He's my brother, and he was part of the rap group with me, Preachers in the Hood. So, yeah, we got to get back on. We got to get him on here, and let's do this.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Has anybody ever told you guys which one of you are the better looking brother?
We already know.
Dang!
we already know.
There's no debate.
Yeah. Let's clip that up and send it to Age.
Let's do it.
You say you already know.
Y'all gonna get him in trouble on here, man. You gotta chill out a little bit.
No, you know what I think about? Oh man, that's like self-love.
The question is though, can you pole vault?
Here's what I think about, like in all seriousness, and
can you flow over the pole vault?
Oh my god. People may not know this, and maybe it's just me thinking this, and maybe it's not reality, but I feel like we're responsible to a huge degree. Those of us that are here, wish Age was here too. We'll get him on. Of just the whole movement of Christian hip hop, pop, and not just in Colorado, but we had a big influence, you know, around the world, if you will, the US for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like
the region, yeah,
for sure the region. And I feel like, and again, we definitely have to come back to this topic with age on here, but you know, when you think of like Sean Rodriguez and you think, you know, them, I can't help but think there's some roots that tie all the way back to what we did, you know what I mean? And kind of paving a way that, because we were always kind of ahead of the trends. We were doing things that people were still afraid to do in churches. In fact, we talked about it before. There were even churches back then who thought it was sinful of what we were doing, or not godly, if you will. So we come from that era where it was just ahead of the times.
We did a concert. I think you guys were there. It was a lock-in, and they sent Age and I outside and searched us.
I feel like I remember
everything.
You were doing the rap for the night.
Yeah, you were the entertainment. You were the ministers.
So you guys
security went out and searched us all for contraband.
And I guess we could say you guys hit your niche when you and I wanted to go to the outreach. I kind of lean towards that subject because you guys did a lot of outreach and minister to a lot of the gangs within the city and even outside the city. We were going all over the country. You guys were in prisons and you guys reached a lot of people, and I appreciate you guys, what you guys took, because we, like Joe was saying, we kind of felt at that time like big brothers, and we were like, man, to see that you guys go out into different places and find that niche and actually be good at it and go out there and do it. It was such a blessing to see, man. And I just want to say thanks for taking that baton when you did and do something great with it.
Thank you guys, man.
Yeah.
I originally met Carlos first, and that was because I was starting to get into gangs and whatnot. And my sister, who went to school with him, had asked, "Hey, you're a Christian, you're a Christian rapper or whatever. My brother, he's into rap, he's into this and that, and can you hang out with him and sort of mentor him?" And you did. Came over, and it was a friendship from there.
Yeah.
Flo and I have a lot of awesome memories. He used to live off that street right off of Quebec, he lived right off of Quebec.
It was Quebec back then.
Yeah, that's
Quebec
right.
Street.
Yeah.
And we've talked about my ragtop Oldsmobile on one of the shows. Flo, we used to religiously clean that thing. Like, he used to help me clean every nook and cranny, in interior and exterior. We had so much fun, man.
And if I didn't help him, I wasn't going anywhere that day. So
that was tight, dude.
You want to ride or not?
I know. Flo was also Flo was also my original barber. He used to fade me up.
You guys were talking about that on a previous podcast, and I was just laughing because.
So, speaking of fading, dude, there was one time. I know this is kind of getting off subject, but one time when Carlos was, he didn't trust me to, like, remember we used to put those lines in our eyebrows.
Oh my gosh, dude!
And he's like, "Dude, you're gonna mess it up." He's like, "I'm gonna do it," and he's like getting it in his hands like this. Dude, he went zig, and the hair went boom. Shaved half of his eyebrow, bro.
I do remember that, dude. I had like half an eyebrow for the longest time, dude.
Carlos, hold one of your hands up like this straight.
No,
just do it, dude.
Well, remember, he's had that drink. He's a refilled drink. So,
oh yeah, the refilled in.
Basically, what Carlos just said in the last couple minutes was he was just a big user, and he would come to my house so I could clean his car and cut his hair.
Pretty much, dude.
That's really what's going on. Now it all makes sense.
Now it makes sense.
Speaking of funny barbershop stories, so it's taken me 3 months to grow this thing, right? I went for a haircut last weekend, maybe, or 2 weekends ago. It looked a lot better. And the lady, I went to a place that specifically has beard cuts, beard fades on their menu, literally. So I booked my appointment ahead of time because I wanted my beard done right now that I'm in the beard gang. I show up. I show up. This lady, like, I could tell immediately she's a newbie, dude. Immediately.
She just started giggling when she's like, "You want me to cut that?"
Yeah, dude. And so anyway, she starts fading up.
It's like switching her guards like 15 at like super rapidly.
Dude, she's fading me up. Anyway, she gets to the beard and I was like, yeah, so I'd like my beard to kind of taper downwards, you know, so it's short here and then it gets longer here. And she's like, okay, yeah, no problem. Dude, she takes a one guard, bro. Oh. I've never seen anybody move a freaking pair of clippers so quickly, man. Like she did my whole thing like that without even talking to me. It was all gone, dude. It was all I literally was on the verge of punching this lady out, but I didn't because I'm a Christian.
And the Christian community needs to embrace those people, Carlos.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, bro. So anyway, I get home, I'm all salty. My wife was like, what's wrong? I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong? It took me like forever to grow what I had. And she like chopped it off in 2 seconds. So, dude, I was really salty, man. So anyway, this is like 2 months, you know, worth, but it's whack, man. It would have looked a lot better.
Well, you're asking her to like try to fix a pier in Puerto Rico after the Hurricane Maria tore it up. You know what I mean? Like what? It's all fragmented and everything, bro. Like I don't. That's a tall task, bro.
Check this out. This is your boy right here.
Dang, dude! I want that beard right there,
homie. A little bit of
homie.
white on those longer ones. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
That's Carlos.
Sure, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
That was Flo.
Yep.
Dude, what the heck? Yeah. What happened?
I never had a beard before, so I
just want to add on
Looks
to what
good.
I want to add on to Flo. Vince was saying earlier, man. I really admire you guys for taking on like the gangster Christian hip hop angle and that niche, man. You guys really rocked that out, and you guys really, you know, went full force with it and reached a lot of people doing that, man. I'm really like, you know, really appreciative and really. I'm just really admiring that aspect. You guys taking that stuff.
It really did reach a lot of, you know, the gang member field, the gang members
community,
you know,
or whatever. Yeah,
I guess community, if that's such a thing. But yeah, it did, man. We've seen a lot of gang members throw down colors, you know, make legitimate, real life changes with their lives, and still to this day, you know.
Yeah. I do remember, and I mean this with all due respect to your brother Age, he liked to fight. I remember him and Corey Clark, Double C-Loke, we were on a road trip once. I don't even remember where we went. Oh, you know what? I think it's when we went to Caldwell, Idaho, and we were doing some outdoor thing. And anyway, we pulled into the gas station.
Vince is having a light show in the
back. Vince is having a Mandela effect over there.
I'm just like, sorry, he's just throwing me off right now.
Has the light been on or off this whole time, Which guy?
It's been on. Oh, right. There you go. There you go. Dude, I want to hear this story.
Is this the way it's been? Or has this been?
It has been a little distracted. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Dude, you can still see your teeth glowing with the lights off, dude. Holy crap. What whitener are you using?
Dude, I don't know what happened.
Got one going right now.
Need some
that's what I get for. That's what I get for buying a light on Temu.
Shamu?
No, that's where Carlos's beard came from.
Yeah.
Stick on.
Oh, that's lights out right there.
What?
Literally.
You know what?
Temu beard.
Sasuke. Right. Bro. So anyway, we're in Caldwell. We pull over at this rest stop because we need gas. And Age, me, and Double C were like getting snacks and stuff. And I think it might have been Corey that started it. But anyway, we're at the counter, and this guy, this unassuming guy, he's older. You know, I'm older now. I'm 50 now. So he was probably a 50-year-old guy at the time. And we were, you know, in our mid-20s maybe. And we're hanging out at the counter, getting ready to pay. And this dude said something that Age and Corey thought was rude to the helper, the cashier. And all it took was one little comment. Corey was like, man, that's rude to the guy. The guy's right next to him. And of course, Age chimes in, dude, you're freaking rude. I was like, man, really? We're on our way to go do a gospel rap show and you guys are going to beat this guy up? They live the lifestyle, bro.
Dude, but I don't disagree with that, because if there's like a pet peeve that I have, it's when somebody disrespects somebody else, like they belittle them. Like if somebody younger disrespects somebody older, especially an elderly person, I'm like all about like, dude, you need to shut up right now. You know, in fact, I'll tell you a quick story. We were at McDonald's. We took the youth group to McDonald's years ago, and it was when Redbox was a thing. If you remember, Redbox was popping off. They had them all in the McDonald's. There was a couple of younger kids, teenagers, went into McDonald's. The Redbox machine wasn't working, so they go over to the employees, which have nothing to do with Redbox. They're like, hey, you, hey, stupid, did you? This thing isn't working. And I'm like, dude, don't. Like, he has not, like, I almost got in a fight in front of the youth group. Like, it was just, I was so mad at this idiot that was talking down to a McDonald's employee, thinking that he had anything to do with Redbox. So maybe I'm that guy too.
You just need to look within, Joe, and see that you did what?
I dumped a dude out of Redbox. So there was this mom and this daughter trying to rent a movie, and he kept coming up to him, harassing him, and trying to get money and stuff from him. And I finally got in his face and told him, hey, you need to step back and leave him alone. He stepped up, and I just grabbed him and dumped him on the ground, just thump. And then I ended up I think either they called the cops or I called the cops, and then they came and took him to detox. But
okay. All right. We all got our, anybody else have a Redbox story?
We should start a YouTube channel, Christians beating up other people.
Hey, you know, when it's justice, when it's righteous.
This is where we take the moral high ground of making sure.
Yeah, this is where we circle back to Christianity. And,
so you got to ask Age about, because he lives in California now. So one time he called me up, FaceTimes me, and he's got this big old black eye. He's like, I was eating in the food court with my daughter, as some young guy just started picking a fight with us. So you have to ask him the whole story, because I don't remember the whole story, but all I know is they started fighting. There's a video. We'll have to do something, but there's a video. They're fighting, and then security comes and breaks it up, and while they're talking to security, the dude just reaches around the security guard and pops Age, and that's how he got the shiner. But
I remember Age showing up. I remember Age showing up to I can't remember if it was church or to a concert with a black guy. We're like, dude, what happened? Apparently got in a fight on a basketball court, because you know he gets heated, bro. Like,
dude, he was always fighting on the basketball court.
But, you know, we'd always play street ball, and it would just turn into that sometimes, you know.
Because he can't keep quiet. It's hilarious. It was almost like a reflex when I saw him and Corey at the gas station together. It was almost like he couldn't help himself. He was just like, yeah,
he's got
you're rude. Like, it was hilarious.
Okay.
The filter came off.
We were at Bishop Park one time, and my now brother-in-law's, I didn't know my wife at the time, where didn't even know her. And they showed up, and we were about to brawl all kinds of guys, his Age and I. And I wasn't even brawling with them. I just showed up, and these guys started a fight. And my brother-in-laws, who we didn't know at the time, showed up, and they were like, they jumped in with us, because they were like, no, that's not cool. There's these two guys and all you guys. And then it was about a week later, I had met.
And then you asked your brother-in-law, hey, do you have a sister?
No, so it was like I met her totally separately, and I went over their house, and it was probably a week, 2 weeks later, And then her brothers showed up at home, and we were like, "Hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. Oh, hey, that's pretty sweet." And we're like, "Man, I'm so glad right now that you guys came and backed us up, and you guys were on the other side, you know, like because
yeah, that could have been real bad.
That would have been awkward. They would have pummeled me in that house. Just me there,
dude.
And then you would have shown up to the concert with a black eye,
right?
I like it.
You would have had to get one of those Monopoly things.
That was our baby Christian young ministry days.
We definitely gotta recap or rehash all that when we get your brother on. It's gonna be good, man. It's been good having you on here, man. I feel like you need to be like the honorary guest every few weeks and do it, man. That'd be fun.
You know, when you guys were out here, I was supposed to be your cameraman. What happened to that?
Oh, what the?
You know, next time you come down, or if the three of you want to go to your sister's shop.
Oh,
yeah, we still got to go do that Botox.
Man, that's supposed to be Carlos following up with you on this stuff. I mean, he's the one that's using you, bro. Like, he's the one that's got you walking the car.
Using you. Oh man, we'll definitely do it. But it's been fun, guys. It's been fun. I mean, definitely we can keep talking forever. This is so good. And this isn't going to be the last time for sure that all of us get on here. We got to again schedule Age on here. And our plan too is to have more guests and have a ton of fun with our podcast, kind of just capturing our lives, past, present, and future, and really just having fun as lifelong friends. That's what this pod is all about. So for those of you who are still listening this long, we're so grateful for you. And you know, definitely let us know, text us, put it in the comments, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Some topics you want to hear us cover, and we'll definitely get into it, because we, as you heard today, we're not afraid to talk about some of the tough things, and we don't always agree, and that's a good thing. We don't always agree, and that's one of the things that makes this a lot of fun for sure. But we love each other.
Yeah,
and we love you, right?
Still homies. And it's like,
I love you guys.
I mean, it's been all these years, right? I mean, I haven't seen Carlos in how long? Let's see, you're right there. So I haven't seen you in how long? I mean, Vince, everyone. And, you know, it's like we could just get on this, and it's like the good old days where we're chilling kicking back at Joe's house, eating out of that huge bag of Kit Kats.
Oh,
I don't know, someone worked at a candy factory or something.
I can't.
I think it was like the Mexican Kit Kats. I think those were the Mexican version of Kit Kats.
Yeah, Mexican Kit Kat.
Dude, we would nourish ourselves off of church donations at every level, right?
There you go. Yeah,
come on. We have so many stories that we got to tell, share. It's just have fun with, encourage some people.
They were like Juanita cats or something, right?
Juanita cats? Did he say Juanita?
They were like the Mexican version of Kit Kats. They were
legit. They were legit Kit Kats. There was somebody that
it was like a big bag of like all the broken ones or something.
Yes,
that they couldn't sell.
Yes,
but it was like literally as tall as us.
It was wild, bro.
Man, I was in heaven.
Yeah,
I was what, 13 years old, maybe 12.
Yeah, dude, you were young, man, when you started hanging out with us. You were really young.
Well, yeah, I started the ministry at 13, so I was probably a little younger when I started hanging out.
That's wild, man.
So, that's good.
You can armor all those tires like nobody's business, boy.
I still can, bro.
Boy, get out of town.
Come on.
I'll tell you, one of the fondest stories that I've had, and I'll make this really short, but you know, Flo and Age's dad was a great man of God. He was incredible. And we were driving back from, I want to say there were some concerts that we did out in New Mexico, and we're all driving back. And the whole time his dad is like pouring into us, man. He was such a scholar of the word. It was crazy. It was wild. Like how, you know, he truly was an expositor of the Bible and knew his theology like nobody's business. I always appreciated sitting down and talking to your dad, man. He was an incredible man, certainly, obviously, an incredible father. You know, fathered you guys and raised you guys, and was just an amazing example to all of us, right? Of what a man of God should be like. And when he passed on, I was blessed to have one of his books. It was a Winston Churchill book that I still have, that I still revere in my house. And man, just a shout out to your father and his legacy.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to pull that off the shelf next time I'm on.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Definitely. Well, fellas, that's it's been good. Again, thank you, everyone. We will see you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.
See ya.
Peace.